What lies beneath the earth, where China's first emperor rests? And why are scientists so afraid to open it? From deadly rivers of mercury to deadly traps and chambers untouched for over 2,000 years, each investigation reveals secrets protected for millennia. Join us, because what lies within this ancient tomb could change history, and perhaps is more dangerous than anyone imagines. The Emperor Who Defied Death. Long before the Great Wall stretched across the mountains of China, one man dreamed of a barrier capable of defying death itself. His name was Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China, and his obsession with immortality would give rise to one of the greatest mysteries the world has ever known. From the moment he ascended the throne at just 13 years old, he sought not peace or prosperity, but eternity, a life untouched by the decay that had claimed all men before him. According to legend, he believed he had been chosen by the heavens to rule eternally. Every conquest, every reform, every act of cruelty was part of a single vision, to ensure that his empire and his own spirit would never perish. He annihilated rival histories, standardized writing, unified currency and roads, and crushed opposition with brutal precision. But beneath his veneer of power lay a single, dormant fear, the certainty that even emperors could turn to dust. Driven by this terror, Qin Shi Huang summoned his finest architects, astronomers, and alchemists to design a palace for the afterlife that would reflect his earthly dominion. The project employed more than 700,000 workers, many of whom never saw the light of day again. They built not just a tomb, but an underground kingdom, a place where rivers flowed, mountains rose, and stars twinkled above stone ceilings. It was conceived as a world in perfect reflection, one that would serve its emperor for all eternity. In his later years, the emperor's despair deepened. He sent expeditions across the oceans in search of the mythical Isles of the Immortals, ordering his envoys to bring back elixirs that were said to grant eternal life. These voyages claimed countless lives and brought only bitter irony. The elixirs, often brewed with mercury and arsenic, were a slow-acting poison. Each sip brought the emperor closer to the death he so desperately fled. Ancient records suggest that the very element meant to preserve him would become the substance that sealed his tomb's fearsome reputation. Even as his health deteriorated, construction beneath Mount Li silently continued. Laborers excavated deeper tunnels, creating layers of chambers filled with unimaginable treasures: jade, gold, ivory, and mechanical marvels moved by the power of hidden counterweights. To ensure secrecy, it was said that those who built the tomb were buried within it, alongside the lifeless emperor they had once served. The silence of the place became its most powerful guardian. No one knows what ceremonies took place when Qin Shi Huang was finally laid to rest. Ancient texts describe a funeral so grand it lasted for weeks, attended by thousands of mourners, yet conducted in secret. The emperor's body, covered in rivers of mercury, was placed at the center of a vast underground palace, where constellations were recreated with pearls and glittering gems. What began as the dream of immortality ended in an eternal prison of his own making. For centuries, the tomb of China's first emperor remained hidden beneath the earth. Dynasties rose and fell, kingdoms crumbled, but no ruler dared disturb what lay beneath Mount Li. He dared to disturb what lay beneath Mount Li. When the Terracotta Army was finally discovered nearby in 1974, it became clear that the scale of his empire in the afterlife was unimaginable. But that discovery was only the tip of the iceberg. The true tomb, the emperor's inner chamber, remained sealed, untouched, alive in legend. Even today, China's most influential scientists and archaeologists keep their distance. They have mapped the surface, measured the terrain, and analyzed the soil, but none have dared to penetrate the burial chamber. The more they uncover, the clearer one truth becomes. Qin Shi Huang's obsession with immortality triumphed in ways he never imagined. He has outlived all emperors, all dynasties, all the tomb raiders who tried to challenge him. What kind of force could make even the bravest researchers fear disturbing a man who has been dead for over 2,000 years? Join us as the mystery deepens. Beneath the Mountain of Secrets. Locals considered it a mere hill, an unremarkable elevation in the landscape that seemed to hold no history. However, beneath its grassy surface lies a structure of astonishing ambition. Modern radar scans revealed that this supposed hill is far from natural. Layers of earth conceal enormous chambers and winding corridors stretching for miles, precisely constructed by engineers whose skills rival those of the most sophisticated builders in the modern world. Its immensity suggests it was never intended as a simple tomb. It was a city for the dead, a subterranean kingdom where an emperor could reign eternally. During the study of the site, archaeologists detected irregularities in the soil density for the first time. Ground-penetrating radar revealed hollow spaces where the earth should have been solid. Each scan pointed to enormous vaults sealed for more than 2,000 years. Some of these chambers are estimated to be larger than modern sports stadiums, with roofs supported by intricate structures that have survived millennia. The idea of stepping into such an intact space evokes awe, but also a growing sense of dread, as if history itself had issued a silent warning. Ancient texts offer subtle clues about what might lie below. Descriptions speak of corridors overflowing with treasure, rooms designed to reflect the empire on the surface, and mechanisms that tested anyone who dared enter. These writings, once dismissed as exaggerated legends, are now considered possible eyewitness accounts of the tomb's complex architecture. The engineering feats they suggest are simply astounding. Moving platforms, pressure locks, and chambers that shift with the angle of sunlight. Even with modern technology, exploring these vaults is no easy task. Attempts to drill or map deeper have been halted for safety reasons. The chambers could collapse under their own weight, or the hidden mechanisms could continue functioning as intended. Structural studies indicate that some ceilings were built to withstand only specific pressures, meaning that even a single human footstep in the wrong place could cause catastrophic damage. Researchers are proceeding cautiously, aware that curiosity could come at a huge cost. Some more speculative studies suggest that the tomb might contain liquid reservoirs, possibly for ceremonial purposes or as part of the burial's defensive measures. If true, these reservoirs would have required engineering knowledge far advanced for the time, including temperature control, waterproofing, and chemical preservation. This raises questions about the resources and manpower invested, and about the emperor's desire to create a resting place that was not only monumental, but also impregnable. The artifacts found around the hill offer fascinating clues. Small figurines, intricate pottery fragments, and pieces of jade show signs of deliberate placement and alignment, suggesting that the tomb's influence extends far beyond its walls. Even these small pieces are remarkably well preserved, indicating that the builders employed methods to protect the delicate materials from decay. The sophistication of these measures suggests an almost unparalleled level of foresight and planning. Each discovery about the tomb seems to deepen the mystery. It is as if each chamber is meant to conceal more than it reveals, guarding secrets that humanity is only beginning to glimpse. The mountain itself becomes a symbol of ambition, mortality, and the human desire to defy time. Each layer of earth unearthed brings new enigmas, and the deeper one digs, the more evident the magnitude of the emperor's vision becomes. What kind of danger could make even modern scientists hesitate to uncover the most important find in history? Read on to find out. The poisoned rivers that still flow. The ground surrounding the tomb tells a story that not even the walls can narrate. Scientists discovered that mercury levels here are higher than anywhere else on the planet, far exceeding natural levels. Tests showed that some sections contained liquid mercury seeping through the soil, forming streams and pools beneath the surface. Ancient texts describe these metallic rivers as a protective element, and now it appears that this was not merely a metaphor. The first emperor's ambition to safeguard his afterlife may have included turning the land itself into a death trap. Workers from nearby villages recount stories passed down through generations. Crops withered near certain areas of soil, and livestock avoided the areas close to the mound. For centuries, these phenomena were dismissed as superstition. Today, environmental scientists confirm that mercury is present in concentrations capable of harming anyone who comes into contact with it. The scale of the contamination suggests that the tomb's builders understood both the chemistry and the risks of metal toxicity. Their knowledge could rival that of modern toxicology. The question then arises, why would the emperor invest so much in poison for eternity? One theory points to symbolism. Mercury, silvery white in its liquid state, could have represented immortality, a river carrying the very essence of life to the afterlife. Protecting the tomb with toxic channels could serve both a physical and spiritual function, deterring intruders while simultaneously ensuring that only the most prepared or devout could witness his eternal rest. This duality between science and symbolism underscores the sophistication of Qin Shi Huang's vision. Studies reveal that mercury contamination extends beyond the tomb itself. Nearby streams show traces of the metal, raising questions about the environmental impact of the construction. Some experts suggest that the extensive use of mercury may have been part of large-scale alchemical experiments aimed at prolonging life or creating magical barriers. Such practices would have required meticulous management and a profound knowledge of materials, something few civilizations could achieve. The artifacts discovered near the contaminated areas are equally perplexing. Small metal figurines, possibly offerings or guardians, show signs of intentional exposure to mercury. Their preservation indicates that their makers understood the metal's power to both harm and preserve, using it to manipulate time and decay. Each find suggests that the tomb's architects designed a world where the laws of nature could be bent to serve the emperor's will. Mercury vapors represent another invisible danger. The air trapped in sealed chambers could have been saturated with toxic vapor that, upon release, could cause illness or death. The idea that the emperor's tomb may still be lethal raises questions about what other places might remain untouched. The rivers flow silently, but they carry a warning coded in metal, a message from the past about the deadly confluence of power, science, and obsession. Despite these dangers, researchers remain drawn to the tomb. Every measurement, every soil sample reveals new layers of complexity. The rivers of mercury are not mere traps. They are a testament to ingenuity and ambition, a blend of brilliance and peril, designed to survive centuries. Each discovery leaves scientists both awestruck and wary, aware that the secrets buried here are as lethal as they are invaluable. If the very air could become toxic, what else would those ancient builders have devised to protect their emperor's resting place? Join us as we explore the hidden corners of this story, the traps that await in the darkness. As you approach the tomb, you can almost imagine the meticulous hands that laid the first trap. Each corridor was not designed for decorative purposes, but for defense, turning curiosity into danger. Historical accounts describe mechanisms that would defy even the most audacious intruder. Sliding spikes, pressure plates, and hidden pits were part of a strategy to ensure that only those who understood the secrets of the tomb could advance. These measures suggest a paranoia bordering on obsession, a ruler's determination to protect his eternity at any cost. Some passageways are believed to have been constructed with precision-engineered false floors. A single misstep could have resulted in a person's death, would fall into a pit filled with sharpened stakes or heavy stones. Archaeologists studying ancient diagrams speculate that entire sections of the tomb may have been intentionally destabilized to collapse under their own weight, making exploration a true gamble with death. These traps are not products of the imagination, but remnants of an era when engineering was used as much as an art form as a weapon. Crossbows and arrow mechanisms constitute another lethal element, described in texts as self-activating devices. Ancient craftsmen used tension systems to launch projectiles at anyone attempting to enter without the proper knowledge. The sophistication of these weapons suggests a civilization capable of seamlessly integrating lethal tools into architecture. Simulations in modern laboratories indicate that such devices could still function, remaining dormant for centuries, waiting for an unsuspecting visitor. Beyond arrows and spikes, there is evidence of chambers designed to disorient. Labyrinthine passageways change direction, creating optical illusions that confuse and panic in intruders. Some rooms may have been filled with strategically placed mirrors, reflective surfaces, or unsettling acoustic tricks, amplifying footsteps or whispers to disturb those inside. These psychological traps could have been as effective as mechanical ones, weaponizing fear. The layout of the tomb appears calculated to mislead. Early explorers recorded door patterns that led to dead ends or redirected travelers back to their starting point. Some corridors widen or narrow unexpectedly, creating areas where one could become trapped. This design implies that the builders anticipated not only physical challenges, but also mental fatigue, using the architecture itself to exhaust intruders and reduce their ability to react to danger. Studies of nearby terracotta models suggest that these miniatures may have served as teaching tools or blueprints. They depict armed guards, movable floors, and hidden passageways in great detail, indicating that each chamber of the tomb could house multiple levels of defense. The integration of such precautions demonstrates a profound understanding of human behavior, anticipating fear, hesitation, and curiosity as factors that could protect the emperor even after death. The combination of mechanical, psychological, and spatial hazards makes the exploration a formidable challenge. Researchers must weigh the value of the discovery against the very real risks inherent in the tomb's design. Each new theory or scanned map reveals greater complexity, reinforcing the idea that the tomb was not simply a resting place, but a monument conceived as a weapon to perpetuate a ruler's power. But even more lethal than arrows or poison might be something far more subtle, hidden in the cunning of the tomb itself. Join us as we uncover the truth that was never meant to see the light of day. The silent threat of time itself. The moment a chamber is exposed to the air, history begins to fade. Unlike the obvious dangers of spikes, arrows, and mercury, this threat is invisible. Scientists know that oxygen, light, and humidity can destroy pigments, fabrics, and delicate organic materials in a matter of minutes. The evidence of the terracotta warriors demonstrates just how unforgiving this environment can be. Brightly colored figures, painstakingly painted for eternity, vanished almost instantly after their excavation, leaving only a vestige of their original splendor. The tomb is not only protected by traps, it is preserved by the silence of time itself. Even the sturdiest brick walls are vulnerable. Mineral salts in the earth react upon contact with air, weakening surfaces that have withstood centuries. Long dormant microbial life can be activated by contact with oxygen, accelerating decomposition in a matter of hours. Archaeologists face a paradox. Discovering the tomb carries the risk of losing forever the secrets they seek. Every artifact, every corner of the subterranean world is a fragile relic suspended between immortality and oblivion. The chemical preservation methods of the past may have contributed to this invisible danger. Some studies suggest that the materials used to coat surfaces, the pigments and lacquers, could react violently to light or air after millennia of inactivity. The emperor's designers may have believed they were protecting treasures forever, but in doing so, they created an environment so delicate that even modern technology must approach it with caution. The tomb becomes a vault, not only of riches, but of time itself, housing centuries of history in a state of slumber. Researchers also discovered that some chambers were intentionally sealed to prevent airflow, creating near-perfect isolation. These airtight spaces preserved materials that should have decomposed long ago, but they also made entry a gamble. A single crack or a poorly calculated opening could trigger chemical reactions, releasing toxic gases or accelerating deterioration. It is as if the tomb was designed to test human patience and intelligence, punishing rash decisions and rewarding meticulous observation. The challenge is compounded by the complexity of the buried treasures. Bronze objects show evidence of intricate casting techniques that could crumble at the slightest vibration. Organic elements such as silk, wood, and lacquered carvings have survived in their original form, but exposure could erase centuries of work in an instant. Scientists now resort to indirect methods, aware that simply touching history could destroy it forever. Every experiment is precisely measured, every observation painstaking, as if the tomb itself were watching. Even the ground beneath which the explorers venture holds a hidden threat. The uneven layers, the moisture-saturated soil, and the microfractures in the stonework demand that every movement be deliberate. The tomb's design combines architectural genius with the natural passage of time to create a preservation system as brilliant as it is terrifying. Any misstep could erase not just a wall or an object, but entire sequences of cultural memory, leaving a void where history once existed. Time has become the ultimate guardian. Though arrowheads rust, mercury pools become contaminated, and shafts remain hidden, centuries of careful isolation are what truly protect the tomb's secrets. Scientists now approach the site like surgeons, measuring every breath, every movement, aware that even the slightest error could undo millennia of preservation. The silent threat is constant, invisible, and relentless, more lethal than any mechanical trap. Even the smallest variations in temperature or humidity within a chamber can cause irreversible damage, making the tomb a precarious balance between discovery and destruction. Every second counts, and every decision must weigh the value of knowledge against the risk of losing it forever. The past may be fragile, but it is fiercely protected by the simple passage of time. If excavating is destroying, how can we see what is hidden without breaking the seal? Let us take you to the point where history becomes shocking. Eyes that see through stone. If touching history could destroy it, the solution might lie in seeing. Without entering. Modern scientists have turned to technology to peer inside the emperor's tomb without ever breaking the seal. Particle detectors, ground-penetrating radar, and muon tomography allow researchers to create three-dimensional images of hidden chambers, revealing voids and symmetrical structures that hint at unimaginable treasures. These methods have unveiled spaces the size of palaces, but no single scan can fully explain what lies within. Muon imaging has proven particularly revealing. By tracking subatomic particles that naturally pass through solid matter, scientists can detect density differences deep within the Earth. In the tomb, these scans have revealed vast voids and potentially inaccessible passageways. Some chambers exhibit perfect symmetry with an almost mathematical design, suggesting that every room, corridor, and vault was constructed according to an unseen blueprint. The precision is astonishing for a civilization more than 2 millennia old. Ground-penetrating radar provides further insights. It has mapped walls, floors, and what appear to be deliberately constructed tunnels connecting enormous chambers. These corridors are straight, narrow, and incredibly long, demonstrating engineering mastery comparable to modern tunnel-building techniques. The radar also detected strange anomalies, such as dense objects clustered in patterns that could indicate treasures, ceremonial artifacts, or even protective mechanisms embedded in the floor and ceiling. Remote sensing technology has also unveiled other mysteries. Temperature variations within sealed chambers suggest differences in material composition, or the presence of metals like gold and bronze. Subtle irregularities in the readings indicate that some areas might contain liquids or even deposits of mercury, reminiscent of the deadly rivers discovered nearby. Each discovery raises more questions than it answers, demonstrating that the technology can reveal shapes and voids, but the true nature of what lies hidden within remains an enigma. Scientists are cautious because even scanning presents challenges. High-energy particles can disrupt fragile surfaces, and drilling waves risk collapsing ancient structures. Therefore, non-invasive observation has become the cornerstone of the study. Each image generated is considered a valuable revelation, a glimpse into a world frozen in time, where centuries-old construction and meticulous preservation coexist in perfect harmony. The tomb's design complicates its interpretation. Some detected voids are enormous and symmetrical, yet inaccessible, leading researchers to speculate whether they were ceremonial halls, treasure chambers, or traps designed to mislead. The precision and scale imply meticulous planning with multiple purposes, combining practical protection with symbolic meaning. These hidden chambers could house artifacts or documents capable of transforming our understanding of the emperor and his empire. Each scan deepens the mystery, but also the tension. Although the tomb remains intact, the knowledge gained is already transforming historical narratives. The more scientists see, the more they realize how much remains to be discovered. Even with the most advanced imaging techniques, the tomb still holds its secrets, testing human ingenuity and discretion. But what if the main reason for fearing the tomb's opening wasn't scientific, but human? Read on to find out. The choice that divides the world. The question of whether to open the tomb is no longer simply a matter of discovery. It has become a profound ethical dilemma that has captured the attention of archaeologists, historians, governments, and even environmental experts. The emperor's final resting place has the potential to rewrite the history of ancient Chinese civilization, revealing treasures, technological achievements, and records lost to time. However, the risks of opening it are unprecedented. Mercury contamination alone could threaten entire regions if not properly managed, and the delicate artifacts it houses could be destroyed as soon as air enters the chambers. International organizations are currently debating the implications of excavation. Some argue that humanity has a right to see and study one of the most extraordinary archaeological finds ever discovered. For them, the tomb represents an opportunity to understand Qin Shi Huang's ambitions, ingenuity, and culture on a scale previously unimaginable. Unraveling its secrets could shed light on historical mysteries that have persisted for over 2 millennia, such as how the emperor controlled his empire, how his artisans achieved such technical mastery, and what spiritual beliefs guided the design of the tomb itself. Others warn of the dangers of intervention, noting that opening the tomb could cause irreversible damage. They refer to lessons learned from previous excavations, where exposure led to the rapid decay of ancient artifacts. The chemical balance, structural integrity, and even the microbial ecosystem within the tomb have remained stable for centuries, and disrupting it could unleash chaos. Beyond the scientific concerns, there is the ethical question of disturbing a sacred resting place. The emperor's tomb is not only a historical treasure, but also a cultural symbol. Tampering with it could be seen as disrespectful, generating tensions both locally and internationally. Technology has offered a middle ground, but it cannot answer all the questions. Muon scans, radar mapping, and particle detectors offer glimpses into the tomb's structure, but they cannot reveal the colors of the objects, the inscriptions on the delicate scrolls, or the subtle arrangement of the ceremonial artifacts. Each advance brings equal parts hope and frustration, underscoring that the tomb is more than just an archaeological site. It is a living enigma that resists complete understanding, even with the most advanced tools. The debate now transcends the scientific realm and reaches world leaders. Policies must weigh historical value against environmental safety, cultural sensitivity, and international law. Any decision to proceed could set a precedent for how humanity will manage archaeological sites in the future, raising questions about ownership, stewardship, and accountability. The tomb is no longer simply the emperor's legacy. It has become a mirror reflecting our decisions as a global community and our willingness to balance curiosity with caution. Public opinion adds another layer of complexity. Media coverage, documentaries, and newspaper articles have transformed the tomb into a symbol of human ambition and the limits of knowledge. Some see it as a treasure to be uncovered at all costs, while others insist that preserving the unknown is itself a form of respect. This tension underscores the broader dilemma. Discovery may bring fame and knowledge, but also destruction, pollution, and cultural loss. Beyond the immediate risks lies the question of legacy. Future generations will inherit the decision made today, and their understanding of history could be forever marked. Every object that survives, every record preserved or lost, will define how we remember the emperor and his empire. The choice is not merely scientific or political, it is a moral responsibility. Ultimately, the decision to open the tomb or leave it sealed represents a historical crossroads. Every argument, every scientific study, and every precaution highlights the fragility of our understanding of the past. The tomb challenges not only what we know about the emperor and his empire, but also how far we are willing to go to uncover secrets that were meant to remain hidden. It stands as a monument not only to Qin Shi Huang, but also to the eternal tension between knowledge and truth, and its consequences, between curiosity and preservation. Humanity now faces a decision with no easy answer. Disturbing the tomb means risking everything it contains. Leaving it sealed means accepting that some secrets will remain forever beyond our reach. In that balance lies the ultimate test of moderation, wisdom, and respect for history. Were you shocked by the hidden dangers, the poisoned rivers, and the deadly traps guarding the emperor's tomb? Tell us which secret left you speechless and why the world still hesitates to unveil it.